Have you ever wondered why first impressions are so powerful and lasting? It seems like a simple question, but the answer is layered with complexity and intrigue. First impressions are the initial judgments we make about people and situations, and they significantly shape our perceptions and interactions moving forward. They can be the deciding factor in a job interview, a first date, or any other social situation where we meet someone new. Now let's delve into a fascinating concept known as thin slicing. In the realm of psychology, thin slicing refers to our ability to discern patterns and make judgments based on very limited information. It's like taking a quick snapshot of someone and then drawing a detailed portrait from it. This cognitive shortcut is what fuels our first impressions, enabling us to make rapid assessments that can have lasting impacts. Stick around as we navigate the fascinating world of first impressions. So, why do first impressions matter so much? Well, the answer lies deep within our minds. Our brains are incredibly complex, and they've been wired over thousands of years to make quick judgments. This was crucial for our survival. Imagine our ancestors living in the wild, constantly having to assess whether that rustling in the bushes was a predator or just the wind. They had to make split-second decisions that could mean life or death. In today's world, we're not typically faced with such immediate threats. But our brains still use that same quick judgment wiring when we meet new people. We immediately start to evaluate whether this person is trustworthy, friendly, or perhaps a potential threat. It's a subconscious process, but it's happening all the same. Several studies have delved into this phenomenon. For instance, research from Princeton University found that people form impressions about attractiveness, likability, competence, trustworthiness, and aggressiveness within 1/10 of a second of seeing a face for the first time. That's faster than a blink of an eye. Another study from the University of York in England revealed that even tiny changes to facial expressions can significantly change our first impressions. For example, a slight upturn of the mouth and crease of the eyes can make someone seem more trustworthy. So our brains are constantly evaluating and categorizing people based on these first impressions, and these judgments can have a lasting impact. Research shows that once a first impression is formed, it's quite difficult to change. We tend to cling to those initial judgments, even in the face of new information that contradicts them. And it's not just face-to-face interactions. First impressions also matter in the digital world, whether it's a profile picture on social media or the way someone presents themselves in a video call. Our brains are making those same snap judgments. Now that we understand why they're important, how can we make sure our first impressions are positive? Well, stay tuned as we delve into the ingredients of a good first impression in the next scene. So, what makes a good first impression? Well, that's a million-dollar question. Let's break it down, shall we? Imagine you're at a party. You spot someone across the room and you decide to introduce yourself. What's the first thing you do? You probably adjust your posture. That's right, body language is a crucial ingredient of a good first impression. You don't want to come across as a slouching sloth, do you? No, you want to be an upright, confident peacock. Remember, people can read your body language before you even say a word. Now let's talk about appearance. Picture this. You're at a job interview, and you walk in wearing flip-flops and a Hawaiian shirt. Not the best way to say, "Hire me, I'm professional," right? But it's not just about what you're wearing, it's about presenting yourself as someone who pays attention to detail, someone who cares. That's why it's always a good idea to check if you have spinach in your teeth before a big meeting. But it's not all about looking good. Communication skills play a vital role too. Let's say you're on a first date. You wouldn't want to spend the entire evening talking about your cat's dental hygiene, would you? A good conversationalist knows when to talk, when to listen, and most importantly, what topics to avoid. Now let's add a dash of humor to the mix. Remember the time when you mistook a mannequin for a person and started a conversation? Well, that's not the kind of first impression you'd want to make, but it sure makes for a hilarious story. In a nutshell, a good first impression is a carefully crafted blend of body language, appearance, and communication skills. It's about presenting your best self, and doing so genuinely. It's about making the other person feel comfortable and valued. And most importantly, it's about being memorable, in a good way. It's clear that there's a lot more to first impressions than meets the eye. So, how can you ensure your first impression is a positive one? Well, let's dive into some practical tips and advice that can help you make a memorable first impression. First and foremost, authenticity is key. People can sense when you're not being true to yourself, and it can come across as insincere or untrustworthy. So be genuine. Embrace your quirks and individuality. Show the world who you are, not who you think they want you to be. Next up, confidence. Confidence is like a magnet. It attracts people and leaves a lasting impression. But remember, it's not about being the loudest in the room. True confidence is quiet, assured, and it comes from believing in yourself. Stand tall, maintain eye contact, and speak with conviction. These are the hallmarks of confidence. Thirdly, be attentive. Listening is an art, and when you master it, you become a great conversationalist. Show genuine interest in what the other person is saying. Ask meaningful questions, nod in understanding, and give appropriate responses. This level of attentiveness shows respect and interest, and it's a surefire way to make a good impression. Another crucial aspect is body language. Nonverbal cues often speak louder than words. A firm handshake, an open posture, and a warm smile can do wonders. They convey friendliness, openness, and positivity. Lastly, the art of communication. Effective communication is more than just talking. It's about understanding, empathizing, and connecting with others. So, express your ideas clearly, use a positive tone, and be mindful of your language. Remember, it's not just about what you say, but how you say it. And there you have it. Authenticity, confidence, attentiveness, positive body language, and effective communication. These are the pillars of making a good first impression. But remember, every interaction is unique, and there's no one-size-fits-all approach. So, adapt these tips to your style and the situation at hand. With these tips in mind, you're well on your way to making a great first impression. Why should you care about making a good first impression? You might ask. Well, let's delve into the long-term effects of making a positive first impression, shall we? First impressions are like the cover of a novel. They don't tell the whole story, but they do give a glimpse of what's inside. And often, it's that glimpse that encourages us to explore further. In the same way, a positive first impression can open the door to more successful social and professional relationships. Think about it this way. When you first meet someone and leave a positive impression, you're essentially planting a seed of positivity in their mind. That seed, given the right conditions, can grow into a tree of opportunities. Let's consider a professional setting, for instance. You're at a networking event and you meet a potential client or employer. Your confident handshake, sincere smile, and engaging conversation leave a positive impression. They remember you as someone they enjoyed talking to. Now, when an opportunity comes up that fits your skills or services, who do you think they're likely to remember? That's right, it's you. The same principle applies in social settings. Let's say you're at a party and you meet someone new. Your friendly demeanor and genuine interest in their stories leave a positive impression. Now, when they're planning their next outing or event, who do you think they're likely to invite? Once again, it's you. So you see, making a good first impression isn't just about that initial meeting. It's about setting the stage for future interactions, opportunities, and relationships. It's about creating a lasting image that people remember fondly and positively. In essence, a positive first impression is like a key that unlocks doors to opportunities. It's a small step that can lead to big leaps in both your personal and professional life. And as we wrap up this scene, let's ponder over this. Remember, you never get a second chance to make a first impression, so make it count. Let's wrap up what we've learned about first impressions. We've delved into the power they hold, shaping our perceptions and influencing our decisions. We've explored the psychology behind them, revealing the complex interplay of nonverbal cues, cognitive biases, and social norms that occur within the first few seconds of meeting someone. We've also identified the key ingredients of a good first impression, from the importance of eye contact and a genuine smile, to the value of being an active listener. And let's not forget our handy tips on how to make a positive impact, like dressing appropriately, showing empathy, and being confident without coming across as arrogant. The impact of a positive first impression? It's enormous. It can open doors, forge strong relationships, and even change your life. Thanks for joining us on this journey into the psychology of first impressions. Remember, every interaction is an opportunity to make a lasting impression, so go out there and make yours count.